The girl was struck dead on the spot by a speeding car. But what no one expected was that a few nights after she'd been buried, she somehow, strangely, showed up at home again. The couple stared at their daughter, back from the dead. There was shock in their eyes, but also endless joy. That joy didn't last long, though. Very soon the mother realized that the daughter who'd returned to them seemed a little frightening. Sensing something was wrong, the mother took up a crucifix and walked toward her, trembling, and the next second, a terrifying scene unfolded right before her eyes. The story takes place in rural America in the 1940s. The main character, Mullins, is the most skilled doll maker in town. The porcelain dolls he makes have delicate features, lifelike as can be. Everyone in town scrambles to buy them. He also has a happy family, a gentle wife and a lively, adorable daughter named Annabelle. Their days are simple and full of joy. But one sunny afternoon, a sudden car accident tears all their happiness to shreds. Sweet little Annabelle is hit by a speeding car and dies on the spot. And the house that was once full of laughter is left with nothing but dead silence. The pain of losing their child pushes the couple to the very edge. Time flashes forward 12 years. One day, a nun from a church arrives at Annabelle's home with 6 children. It turns out that after Mullins lost his daughter, in order to help his wife forget the pain and stop dwelling on dark thoughts, he deliberately turned their home into a shelter, taking in homeless orphans from time to time. This way he could care for those poor children, and give himself and his wife a little comfort as well. Seeing the big house for the first time, the children are immediately stunned by the interior. Keep in mind, in this era, a household with a television and radio was a rare thing, especially for a group of orphans. They excitedly tour the big house, delighted by everything they see. Just then, Mullins interrupts the excited group. Very seriously, he tells them that the small room next to the living room is one place they must never enter, under any circumstances. Then he prepares to take the children upstairs to see the rooms where they'll be staying. The nun calls out to Mullins from behind. She asks him whether a girl named Janice could stay downstairs, because Janice has polio, and going up and down the stairs is very difficult for her. Before she can even finish, Mullins shows them an electric chairlift on the staircase. He explains to the nun that his wife became paralyzed a few years ago, and this was made specially for her. It hasn't been used in a long time, but it still works perfectly. Then Mullins kindly fastens the safety belt for Janice. As the electric chair slowly rises, Janice reaches the second floor without any trouble. The nun and the children follow up after her. The group happily picks out the rooms they like, but Janice's attention is caught by one tightly shut door. Carved into the doorframe are rows of numbers, like marks made to measure a child's height. Curious, Janice wants to see what the room looks like. The strangeness of this house doesn't truly reveal itself until late that night. After dinner, everyone drifts off to sleep. Because of her condition, Janice washes up more slowly than the others. Just as she's about to sleep, before she can even close her eyes, she suddenly hears footsteps outside her door. Then a note slides in through the gap beneath it. Janice struggles out of bed and limps over to the door. Picking up the note, she opens it, and written plainly across it are the words, "Come find me." Janice assumes it's a prank from one of the other kids, so she takes her crutches and steps out of the room. But once she's outside, she realizes the hallway is eerily quiet. Not a soul in sight. Just as she reaches the door of that strange room from earlier, another note slides out from inside. This time it reads, "Right in here." Even though Mullins had warned her during the day, Janice's overwhelming curiosity makes her forget the warning. She gathers her courage and reaches for the door handle. The door isn't locked the way Mullins had said. Janice cautiously looks around the room. It's warmly furnished, with all sorts of cute dolls placed everywhere. Clearly, the child who lived here was a sweet little girl. Janice happily plays with the delicate little toys in the room. Just then, she spots a key among a pile of them. She glances at a locked wardrobe nearby. The key in her hand seems to fit that cabinet. Carefully, she slides it into the keyhole. The wardrobe really does open. She peeks curiously inside. In the huge cabinet, there's just a single doll. But this doll looks a little different from the others in the room. It looks a bit terrifying. Instinctively, Janice looks into the doll's eyes. The next second, she slams the wardrobe shut in fright. But just as she's about to turn and leave, the cabinet door swings open again on its own, and the sweet doll inside seems to have shifted position. She quickly closes it again and locks it once more with the key. But the moment she's ready to leave, strangely, the cabinet door is pulled open again by some mysterious force. Now Janice is getting scared. She grabs a white cloth from nearby and throws it over the doll's head, then tries to hurry out of there. She doesn't notice at all that, after she turns around, the doll behind her begins to move. And Mullins, still awake outside the window, sees the whole thing. Only now, guilt-ridden, does Janice want to leave. But the moment she turns, she sees that the sweet doll has somehow come to stand right behind her. Terrified, Janice's legs suddenly seem a little quicker. She limps back to her room. At this moment, she still doesn't know just what kind of monster she set loose that night. The next morning, Janice tells the nun everything that happened, but the nun doesn't believe the strange story. Instead, she scolds Janice. They came to Mullins' home because of his kindness in taking them in. She tells Janice she must behave and stop doing things that upset Mullins. Meanwhile, a few of the other children are playing hide-and-seek in another room. One girl, Carol, trying to find a good hiding spot, squeezes into the partition of the stairwell. The moment she crawls in, she spots that sweet doll in the corner behind her, but as she looks closer, the doll suddenly retreats into the darkness at incredible speed.
Oh. Found you.
Soon night falls again. Bored, the children huddle under the covers, telling scary stories in their room. But as the stories go on, the eerie mood arrives too. The flashlight under the covers flickers a few times, then goes out, and suddenly, the sound of a ringing bell fills the room. Through the blankets, the two sisters see something has come to stand right beside them.
What's going on?
Their screams wake everyone up. Hearing the noise, Mullins rushes over first. The sisters say they faintly saw the lady of the house, but Mullins bluntly tells them his wife has long been paralyzed, and hasn't left her room in years. After that, without waiting for anyone's reaction, he simply turns and walks away. The next day, the girls who witnessed the strange events are all a little uneasy. The excitement from when they first arrived is completely gone, and Mullins is preparing to go out today, to buy some supplies at the market. He deliberately asks the nun to help look after his bedridden wife. The moment she enters the room, the nun immediately notices a photo of a girl on the nightstand. Naturally, she begins praising the couple's daughter, but to her surprise, the lady tells her frankly that her daughter Annabelle died in an accident more than a decade ago. As the nun apologizes for her thoughtless words, she accidentally catches sight of the lady in the mirror. She sees that the lady's face seems to be covered by half a mask. It looks unsettling, but she doesn't dare ask, and can only pretend she saw nothing. Outside the room, Janice hears their entire conversation. Only now does she learn there was once a little mistress in this house. She looks at the photo on the wall, and realizes the room she entered that night must have belonged to this girl named Annabelle. Instinctively, she takes the girl's photo back to her room. After staring at it for a while, just as she's about to set it down, she suddenly notices that the girl's face in the photo actually changes when it falls into shadow. But this eerie sight doesn't frighten her. Instead, it stirs up her curiosity even more. To learn more about the girl in the photo, she goes back to that room again, but the moment she enters, Carol follows in right behind her, and Carol is a bit more reckless. Ignoring Janice's warnings, she plays with the toys in the room. In the end, the accident happens anyway. She accidentally strikes that sweet doll with a toy launcher, and Carol realizes this doll is the very same one she saw in the stairwell during the day. The doll she just hit has somehow turned its head, and is now staring straight at her. Frightened, Carol turns and leaves the room, but Janice stays behind, still searching the room for any trace of Annabelle. Before she can find anything useful, the strange events begin. Janice steels herself and walks toward Annabelle, asking the figure by the window over and over whether something happened that trapped her here.
Your soul!
Janice barely manages to struggle out of the room, but strangely, every room on the second floor is now locked tight, and the hallway begins to be swallowed by darkness. With nowhere to run, Janice quickly gets onto the chairlift, planning to get downstairs first, but when the lift is only halfway down the stairs, it suddenly reverses on its own, out of control, and the demonic Annabelle is already waiting for her at the top of the stairs. With a piercing scream, Janice falls from a great height, crashing hard onto the floor of the ground floor hall. Luckily, Janice's life isn't in danger. Accompanied by the nun and Mullins, she goes to the hospital for a checkup. Aside from some scrapes of varying severity, there's nothing seriously wrong. but she'll have to rest in a wheelchair for now. Janice tells the nun everything she went through the night before, all over again. She's truly terrified now, and wants the nun to take her away from this house, but the nun has her own struggles. She worked so hard to find someone willing to take these children in, and though Mullins seems cold, she can feel that he and his wife are kind-hearted people. If they leave here, it would be nearly impossible to find another shelter to match it. The nun can only offer Janice a few words of comfort, and the matter is dropped. That evening, the kind-hearted couple are talking in their bedroom. Mullins' hands don't stop, carving a crucifix as he says to his wife that the child who fell last night may not have been an accident. It could very well be connected to what happened all those years ago.
It's been quiet for 12 years. You should try embracing the presence of the girls, instead of frightening them away.
Clearly, there's some hidden secret in their conversation. Meanwhile, on the other side, another girl who won't give up, Carol, comes to that room's door once again. Through the gap in the door, she sees the sweet doll actually sitting in the rocking chair, seemingly smiling with delight. Curiosity gets the better of her, and she pushes the door open. The strange sights of these past days have left Carol frightened too. She keeps watch at her own door with the toy launcher, afraid something might suddenly burst into her room. At the slightest sound outside, she fires the launcher toward the door. But just as Carol tries to reel back the ball she just shot, the accident happens. Terrified out of her wits, Carol can only hide under the covers, letting the blanket protect her. Only then does she dare to peek her head out and look toward the door. And in that instant, she notices something's wrong. Sometime during the night, a row of black footprints has appeared in the room. She follows the trail with her eyes toward under the bed, and sees the sweet doll staring straight at her from the gap beneath the mattress. And so, through a night of dread, Carol drifts off into a hazy sleep. The next morning, the nun wheels Janice, who hasn't left her room in days, outside to get some fresh air. Watching the other kids playing in the distance, Janice's anxious heart seems to ease a little, but the next second, her wheelchair jolts violently. Then Janice sees the door of the shed across the way open on its own. The next moment, someone shoves the wheelchair forward, striding quickly toward the shed. Instinctively, Janice tries to look back, but the blinding sunlight keeps her from seeing the nun's face. She screams in terror, but it's already too late. Terrified, Janice can only hide beneath some boards. Thankfully, after a while, things go quiet again, but clearly, this is just the calm before the storm. Annabelle suddenly appears and seizes Janice, pouring a huge amount of black liquid straight into her mouth. Outside, the nun finally hears Janice's screams from the shed. She rushes inside, only to find Janice sitting unharmed in her wheelchair. Nothing strange about her at all. But Carol, watching Janice nearby, feels deep down that something's off. She's certain there's something wrong with that doll. Everything strange that's happened to her and Janice these past days is very likely connected to it. So she goes to Mullins and tells him everything about entering the room and seeing the doll. Before Carol can even finish, Mullins explodes with anger. He'd clearly warned all of them. Why do these children insist on breaking their promise? Furious, he storms inside to confront the nun and Janice, but the moment he steps in, he sees the doll sitting at the dining table, with a note placed on top. Just then, Janice appears in the dining room in her wheelchair. Seeing that Janice seems to have changed, deep fear fills Mullins' eyes. He can only helplessly raise the crucifix in his hand, but clearly, he's no match for the evil spirit before him. Not long after, the nun and children who'd gone shopping return home. The moment they enter, they find Mullins already dead in the dining room, his face twisted in a horrible grimace. Seeing this, the nun can only call the police. Soon after the police finish examining the scene, they take Mullins' body away for examination. The nun simply assumes Mullins fell ill and died by accident, and doesn't think much of it. But Carol doesn't believe that. She's certain Mullins' death is connected to the doll. So while everyone is asleep, she secretly takes the doll out, planning to throw it into the well. But her sneaking around is seen clearly by the nun, who's still awake. Just as she throws the doll into the deep well, the nun appears behind her. Frightened, the nun covers the well and takes Carol back to her room, but to their shock, the doll they just dumped into the well has actually made it back home before them. Seeing this, the nun finally believes what Carol and Janice told her. Furious, she takes the doll to the lady of the house, and only then learns the truth from her. It turns out that after the couple lost their daughter all those years ago, neither of them could accept the reality. Desperate, they began frantically searching for ways to summon the dead. Finally, they found a method. Ignoring all taboos, they called back their daughter's soul and sealed it inside a doll. Before long, Annabelle's figure really did appear in the house. Her speech, her movements, her habits, all exactly like their dead daughter. The couple were overjoyed, believing they had truly summoned their daughter back. Little did they know, this was a monstrous deception by an evil spirit. Soon the lady was the first to realize that what she'd summoned back wasn't her daughter's soul at all, but a demon come to claim their lives. She used a crucifix and saw with her own eyes the spirit reveal its true form. By the time Mullins returned home, his wife's face had already been destroyed by the demon, and driving away a summoned evil spirit is never easy. Mullins could only bring in a priest, who sealed the demon inside the porcelain doll he'd made with his own hands, named Annabelle, then locked it in the wardrobe of his daughter's bedroom, sealed with pages of scripture, trying to hold the demon down for good. They thought this would solve the problem once and for all, and for over a decade, nothing did happen. The couple gradually let their guard down against the demon in the wardrobe, but what they never expected was that 12 years later, the arrival of these children would accidentally break the seal. And that's how this whole chain of events began. Now that the nun knows the full story, there's no time to worry about anything else. She immediately prepares to take the children and leave. But just then, the children tell her in a panic that Janice has suddenly gone mad and attacked them. The nun has no choice but to tell them to call the police first, while she heads upstairs to see what's wrong with Janice. After calling the police, a few of the children, out of kindness, go to the lady's room, planning to take her with them. But what greets them is the lady, cut clean in half, hanging on the wall, long since dead. The terrified children flee the house, climbing into Mullins' pickup truck, trying to drive away. Meanwhile, inside the house, Carol, unable to keep up with the older kids, is left behind. She can only hide inside the room's dumbwaiter lift, climbing down along its rope. But the lift leads straight into the lady's bedroom. She scans the room with her flashlight. The lady who was hanging on the wall has strangely vanished, leaving behind only a great pool of blood. Startled out of her wits, Carol crawls back into the lift and climbs back upstairs, but the crazed Janice is still up there, with nowhere to hide. She rushes into Annabelle's room and hides inside the wardrobe covered in scripture seals, but Janice finds her quickly.
You swore that if I found a home, you'd come too. You know what they say about breaking a swear. You go straight to hell.
Janice!
The nun throws the rosary and crucifix around Janice's neck, and before Janice can react, shoves her and the doll straight into the wardrobe. Then she blocks it shut with a nearby bookshelf. No matter how Janice screams from inside, the nun doesn't waver. After some unknown amount of time, the house returns to calm. The police who received the call arrive at the scene right away. When they open the wardrobe, Janice has vanished without a trace. Only the sweet doll remains, sitting quietly in the corner. The group searches around the house all night long, finding not the slightest trace of Janice, so that she can keep living in this rare home with the children. The nun brings in an elder from the church to perform an exorcism on the entire house, and has the police take away the sweet doll. They thought it was all finally over, but not long after, a childless couple comes to an orphanage, hoping to adopt a child, and the child the orphanage recommends to them is none other than Janice, who had vanished all that time ago.
Introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Higgins.
You must be.
Annabelle.
The couple still have no idea that their doom is fast approaching. This movie is called Annabelle, and that's where today's story ends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.